My name is Jamie Castro, and my informative speech will be on how to ace an interview. So, I will be sharing 3 tips and tricks for a successful interview. Being prepared, wearing correct attire, and asking good questions of your own during an interview can ensure that your interview is successful. Overall, confidence is key. And according to Adler, preparing in advance, establishing a professional identity, and asking good questions will ensure that you succeed. Being prepared can say a lot about you in an interview. It can show to your employer that you are serious, that you are responsible, and it can overall create a good first impression. Being, being prepared during an interview can look like researching the company, and this can be researching their company statement, researching what they do, what they work for, and all of that stuff. Practicing questions can also better prepare you for an interview. There are common questions to almost every interview that can include your biggest strength, your biggest weakness. Um, it can also include your previous experience and so on. An article by Lifehack states that practicing answering questions in a non-common manner can create a good first impression. So, for example, if an employer asks what's your biggest weakness, you'll want to answer it in a genuine but professional way. And this can result in a first good impression. Next, establishing a professional identity is important to acing an interview. The attire and acting professionally is important. So, for example, changing a goofy email to a more presentable and professional one that can just be your first name or last name is important because someone who has a goofy email wouldn't be perceived as professional. So, establishing this professional identity is also important in virtual interviews. Nowadays, since COVID is going on, we're at home or in an environment that isn't the same as being in an interview face to face. And even though you aren't face to face and you're communicating through a computer or a phone call, you want to make sure that your voice is clear, that you're not using slang, and that if you're doing a video conference or a video interview, you're wearing the proper attire, you're not in your pajamas, or you're not wearing anything inappropriate. A Harvard review says a person who is good at public speaking is irresistible to new employers and irreplaceable to existing ones. Then, in an interview, you'll want to make sure that you're also asking questions to your employer. Follow-up questions in an interview shows that you're taking initiative and that you're actually listening and that you're actually interested, that you've been listening to everything that your employer has been sharing with you about the role, and that you are actively taking in that information. Adler states that question based on your knowledge of the industry, the company, and the position can produce more information and shows the interview that you have done your research on the company. In conclusion, these 3 tips and tricks will ensure success in an interview. Remembering to prepare and going over questions and researching the company, dressing to impress and acting accordingly, following up with questions and asking for clarification will highlight that you are prepared, that you are interested, and would also highlight the attentiveness that you have throughout the interview. Using these tricks and tips that I have shared will overall ensure that you make the most of your interview.